drop and knit, and I've got a finished object. Yes! This is my Aurora Cardigan by Shinysuperhero. And it is like so oversized and so huge, but it is so cozy. I just love this thing. I'm gonna back up a little bit so that you can see all in its full glory. So, where to begin with this thing? I love it. I put on last night, there we go, those cute fox buttons from Katrinkles. So today is Monday. I put all the finishing touches on this last night, and then I woke up today and it was actually like a beautiful fall day outside. So I wanted to get a little segment of this sweater while it was amazing light out. So there's lawnmowers in the neighborhood. It's, obviously there's lots of leaves around. I just wanted to have some pictures in the lighting, some video in the lighting, just to capture the true colors of Jill Draper's amazing yarn. So the yarn is Jill Draper Make Stuff, and let's see, the purple is Stanley Plum, Luciferous is the green, Crema is the it's kind of like a pinkish, purplish, crema, I guess, right? And then the orange is Roasted Persimmon. I held it double throughout, which is why it's like such a good. So Shinysuperhero writes the pattern for either a held double fingering weight, like light fingering weight yarn, or you can use a DK. It is 100% lamb's wool, and it is squishy. It is like kind of rustic, but super squishy and incredibly fabulous. This might be my new favorite ever yarn. I just love it. The colors, oh my gosh. So it was so funny on Instagram. I tagged Jill Draper in a photo and she was like, oh, your color choices are so great. And I was like, well, they're really your color choices, because I bought one of her, she sells the Mohawk Light in bundles of 5 skeins. And so I picked it up from her when I went to the 2019 Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. And obviously the purple is my color, but the orange and especially this green were colors that normally I would never have been drawn to. But I saw the bundle of yarn, which also included like a more berry kind of pinkish color, like a deep dark pink. And the 5 together, I just said, okay, this is definitely calling to me, these colors. It's totally outside my comfort zone, but I'm gonna go for it. And I'm so glad I did, because these 4 colors together in this Aurora cardigan are everything. Everything. Now, I did not swatch, and this is really, really big. Probably I could have made the size 2. That's okay. I might make it again. I don't know. I liked knitting this so much. It was a little bit of a pain at the end with all of the weaving in of the ends and everything. That took kind of forever. But it was worth it, because look at this amazing finished product. So, all right, I told you guys a little bit in my first episode about how the pattern works. So I'm just gonna go over that again in case you didn't see my first episode, because I wanted to really dive into this Aurora cardigan a little bit and give it like a really special segment, since it is an amazing new finished object, and it's like a full-size garment, so it deserves its own little section, I think, of my podcast today. So it was definitely a stop, drop, and knit. The moment I saw it, posted on Stephen and Penelope's Instagram in September. They featured Shin, which is ShinySuperhero. They featured her at their shop for September as designer of the month. And I saw her picture of this cardigan and I seriously stopped in my tracks. I don't even remember what I was doing. Obviously I was scrolling Instagram. Well, yeah, okay. But so I stopped everything and I went to ShinySuperhero's Instagram. I went to her Ravelry. I purchased this pattern immediately, as well as another pattern for a different sweater. And I was just like in awe of all of her amazing colorwork designs. So definitely go check her out. She is a really fun designer, and I'm trying to remember where she's from. Copenhagen, maybe? I could be so wrong about that. So I'll look it up. Yeah. So I immediately, when I saw the pattern, I was like, maybe this is what I can use that Jill Draper yarn for. Because you know how sometimes when you're at festivals, especially, and you see yarn and you buy yarn because you love it, but you don't necessarily always have a plan right that instance. So the Jill Draper purchase was one of those. I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I have been making a lot of sweaters and I've been making a lot of colorwork sweaters, and so I know I'm going to use it. Of course, then I had to purchase more of the roasted persimmon because you're holding it double. So all of the Mohonk Light skeins have 550 yards, which is quite a bit. So I figured, for 5 skeins of yarn, each of a different color, I was easily going to get 1.5, 2 sweaters out of that, depending on how the patterns that I used. So this does have a main body color. So the roasted persimmon, if I had knit the size 2 and not the size 3, I might have been able to get away with only 2 skeins of it. But I didn't swatch. I just was so excited. I stopped, dropped, and knit. Like as soon as I had all my materials together, I cast on, and I just didn't want to swatch. I went for the medium, which was size 3. I think that there are 5 sizes. So I usually wear either a small or medium. I'm gearing towards knitting mediums these days. I like things with lots of positive ease and lots of room. Plus, when they are oversized like this, you can layer them on top of other knits and other fantastic woolly pieces. So I just figured for a cardigan, I wanted lots of extra room, and I got my lots of extra room. I still think it looks great. I don't think it's too big, definitely oversized. So you can also, you don't have to knit. I did the lengths pretty much exactly as she said, but she says you can always shorten the lengths of the ribbing if you want to. But when you have it long, there's all this extra room. You can push it down, and then you have this really nice balloon sleeve like that. So or if you wanted to, you could always fold it over. So that's, another option too, as opposed to just leaving it long. So, I've just been wearing it for today because I wore it out once when it wasn't yet finished, when I still had ends to weave in. But I think that looks so cute. So the things, obviously the unique color work pattern is what immediately drew my eyes to this pattern. But then, once you look closely at it, there is this amazingly gorgeous shoulder detail. So this detail is made when you are knitting. So what happens is you start you start with the button band, like the collar. Okay, and then you work on short rows, you know, to start growing and increasing for the shoulders and giving you that little bit of extra room in the back. So let me see if I'll just turn around for a minute so you can see that. So every time you do a short row and you get to the end, this pattern is made from the increases as you're doing the short rows. So like the whole like back part, not yet this, up until, so I know this looks like it's down in the sleeves, but really when you're knitting this, I should maybe take it off in a minute to really show you. But this is like a back shoulder panel that you're knitting. And so you can see it starts off short and then it keeps getting longer and longer and longer until you get there. And you're going around, you know, so it does that on both sides. Now, I did make a mistake and I'm very confused as to where I made my mistake. So, after you do all these increases, then you pick up and you knit the back panel. And so the back panel on the chart has a center. I talked about this some in my first episode, but just, you know, if you didn't see it, I want to put it here too, since I'm focusing on this cardigan right now. So this is like the center of the chart. And then as opposed to just like when you have a flat chart, right, and you're reading the color work all the way across, back and forth, right to left, left to right, what you do for this one is you start in the center and you knit around like this and then around like that. So it wasn't like a straight across. So you did that and that and that and that, and then until like you completed like the whole chart. At a certain point, you were able to just like go back and forth, but all of the color work chart was done all like around like that for this back panel. So I thought that I had it going in the right direction. And I might have. My back might be correct. What is maybe not correct is when I look at Shin's cardigan that she made, these panels in the front are a mirror image. So they're reversed like that. I was confused when I started the front panels. I started it and then I thought that I was knitting the wrong one or that I was knitting it in the wrong direction based on like where the color was from the back panel. And so I knit the sides in reverse. Like instead of the right front, I knit the left front, and I also ended up knitting, instead of first going right to left, I started with the odd numbers, I went left to right, and then the even numbers I did right to left. So it works out that, you know, I have it perfectly going across, except that mine is pretty much a mirror image of Shin's. And then after the whole thing was done, I realized that everybody else's cardigans matched up, like the purple in the front matched up, like should have been on this side to match up with the purple on the back. So like this whole section on this shoulder should have all just been purple. And then this whole section over here should have just been green. But, so it's wrong. This is not accurate exactly to her design. Not her fault. She was really clear in the instructions. It's just, it was my first time doing like so many color work charts, so much intarsia, and I think that I just confused myself. I think I probably had it correct the first time before I ripped it out, but I actually really, really like that it's different colors on both shoulders. I think it looks fantastic, and that is really all that matters, because it's my cardigan. This I made for me, and nobody else except the designer and whoever else has knit this really is gonna know that it's wrong. And it also looks fantastic, so I'm just not worried about it. So then the other aspect of this cardigan that just was really interesting to me was this waterfall. She calls it a waterfall detail, and it's also happening on the sleeves. So basically, like it in the main color, she has this clever little lace pattern outlining her color work. So you can see this one's on like more the inside of the sleeve. You knit the same chart for both sleeves, but because of how the color work is different on the front and the back, the sleeves ends up looking, you knit them like exactly the same, like you don't knit one like a mirror image of the other, so that they end up actually being like these two match. I think you can see that this way, that the color work for these two sleeves this direction is the same, and now this direction is the same, but it's then different from a front view and then the back view. So that's really, really clever. Let me see, I was hoping that this would open up a little bit in blocking, and I think it did. Just a little bit. So basically it's a yarn over detail, and it just follows the color work, and it's just like that little bit of extra attention to detail that she did with this pattern, that like with these increases here and the waterfall detail, that just made me fall so hard in love with this piece. And then combining it with Jill Draper's yarn, this is everything. So I went for these fox buttons that I think I already did a close-up. I'll do another one. So these are Katrinkles, and I thought that since this is obviously something I'm wearing in the autumn and winter, with the main body color, this roasted persimmon, being orange, and foxes are like an orangish red, I just thought the fox buttons would be super, super cute. And so I'm gonna unbutton it because I want to show you the tags that I inserted in the back, and I also want to show you, what the inside of the sweater looks like. So, you could wear it open like this, which is how I had it in my first video because I didn't have the buttons on yet. So that's another option if you just want to throw it on as kind of like a jacket and not button it up. Okay, so check out, I did these last night. These are from Kylie and the Machine, and this one is just absolutely accurate. It says made with love and swear words, and the other one says perfectly imperfect. Now I have no idea if this is going to be like backwards on camera or if it's going to end up being the right way, but I just sewed it on, not all the way through to the back. I just did some hand stitching, and I put this one on first, and then I put this one on layered above it. Yeah, there were definitely a lot of swear words uttered when making this sweater, mostly because I kept second guessing myself with the charts and running out of yarn a couple times in my main body color. Yeah, there was a lot of cussing going on with this one. So I just love that tag for this sweater. So perfect. So you can see, in case you doubted that I actually did weave in all of my ends, I definitely did. I had all of those woven in for the first episode, but I'm gonna prove it to you now. Not that I need to, but just because I'm stinking proud of myself. All of those ends that last time were all dangly out of there. they have all been woven in. It took forever. I hate weaving in ends, but it was so worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna put this back on because it is chilly out here. I highly recommend this pattern to everybody. Oh, I got a leaf stuck to it. Shin Shinysuperhero. Her designs are just unlike anything else out there. And that's, you know, this is why I make my own sweaters and stuff, because I mean, obviously the knitting part of it is its own thing. You know, that's my hobby. It's what I love to do. But I love also that then I have a finished product that doesn't look like anybody else's. Or at least if I used the same yarn and measured exactly, you know, the same as somebody else, like maybe a couple other people. But like, this is really something that is uniquely mine. And I just love that so much about it. But on top of just knitting garments and having that level of it be unique, her designs are just unique to anything else that is out there. So I'll put her information up here, so you guys definitely should go check out her patterns. Check her out if Ravelry is a safe for you to view. You can look at her designs on Ravelry. And I don't know if she has her designs for sale elsewhere or not. I will do a little investigating on that. It might just be Ravelry, but she might have her own thing. I'm not really sure. But she's on Instagram, and she's very active on Instagram, and she just has so many fun patterns. And yeah, I'm gonna definitely be knitting more of her pieces. And I think that's everything I have to tell you about my Aurora cardigan. I am in love with this piece, if you can't tell. And I hope that I will inspire one of you, at least, to knit this piece, because it was fun all the way through. Even with all the swear words uttered, it was a fun, interesting knit. Never a boring moment until I had to weave in the ends. But a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of this amazing piece. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And see, my son is so good at this. He's like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. I really appreciate all the subscriptions, all of the comments, and let me know what you think about this cardigan and if you think you might knit one for yourself. Okay, bye.